Everybody has one podcast. We are back.
Yes, yes.
Another week. So much going on in the world of sports, man. So little time to discuss it all. I'm your host, Jason Flake. My co-host, Lance Reynolds, a.k.a. the People's Champ.
What up, though?
We want to thank everybody, man, for another great week of engagement. We got tons of views on the YouTube channel. We got great engagement all across all of the social sites. That is, everybody has the #1 sports podcast on YouTube. That's everybody has one spelled out sports podcast everywhere else. That's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's Threads, that's Twitch, and that's TikTok. The audio version of the podcast is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure you continue to like, share, and subscribe. When you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which again is everybody has the #1 sports podcast, make sure you hit that bell notification. When you hit that bell notification, make sure you hit all so that you are notified every time we post new content, new videos, new shorts, and of course every time that we go live, which is every Wednesday at 8:30 or as close as we can get to it. In the case of this week, we're a little bit early, man. For everybody that's new dropping in, man, welcome to the show. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, man. Also, don't forget to drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts on tonight's topics, man. Hit us on all of those social sites, please, and thank you. Man, it's a lot to get into.
Yeah, man, a lot going on.
We want to, once again, give a shout-out, man, to our presenting sponsor, man. That's going to be Claremont 12. Toast to the life, share with a friend. This is our vodka and our peach bourbon, man. You can visit www.claremont12. That is Claremont 12, not 12 spelled out, but Claremont 12. That's CLAIRMOUNT 12.com. And you can find out how to purchase bottles, how to sign up with our membership packages. The $25 membership does come with a included bottle, and we'll let you know how to interface with that and all of that on the website, man. So find out about us there. And without further ado, man, let's get into the topics because, once again, they seem innumerable. We're going to talk about the Lions real quick. We're going to talk about the sale of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, man.
And then we're going to get into the NFC and AFC West. The Lions' first preseason game. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Detroit Lions 16-14 in their 2026 preseason opening game at Paycor Stadium on Thursday, August 13, 2026. Evan McPherson kicked 3 field goals for Cincinnati, while Detroit mounted a late fourth-quarter comeback that fell short. Ahmed Hassanein, a 2025 sixth-round draft pick out of Boise State, missed his entire rookie season due to a pectoral injury, shifting into a new, quote, big end, unquote, defensive role for the 2026 camp. He completely dominated his 29 defensive snaps against Cincinnati. On his very first snap of the preseason, he blasted into the backfield to cleanly sack star quarterback Joe Burrow. He later added a second strip sack against third-string quarterback Josh Johnson in the third quarter. Despite the Lions narrowly losing 16-14, Hassanein emerged as the game's biggest standout. Do you believe that Hassanein emerges as the starting defensive end, and do you think that he replaces Al-Quadin Muhammad's 11-sack production from a year ago? What say the People's Champ?
Well, that's asking a lot of the kid.
It is.
But, God, he seems to be trending that way. I mean, this is the second straight camp that he had where, he wowed some folks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
so
he's got some raw talent.
So
looks really good.
It's good to see that he was able to recover from his injury.
Right.
And, able to make it to the field.
Yes.
And look even better than he did last year where he was kind of maybe looking to be a steal.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, I mean, good Lord. I mean, if he could get 11 sacks, that'd be like a godsend.
Right.
But, I mean, if this production, I say, if have a good showing Saturday, yeah, I mean, why not? I think that position is definitely open.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he shines and
Yeah.
what he's doing in practice is translating on the field, and
Right.
of course, he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, give it a shot. I don't think you got anything to lose.
Yeah, man. I like that he cut his body fat by 13%.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
That's
of
professional. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like when a young player is a professional, and he was injured. Like he had every reason to just be like, hey man, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hurt nothing. I just want to get better.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk another injury by working out extra hard. Like
He wanted to be here.
yeah, like no, I like that. That's a sign of professionalism. Like you take your craft very seriously. I don't know whether or not he'll emerge as the starter because I know Derek Moore is, also having a nice showing, even though he had a minor injury, so he was out for a couple of weeks during camp. I would be happy if him and Derek Moore combined could replace that 11 sack production. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they could both kind of have an outburst, because I mean, you look at a team like the Seattle Seahawks, who we're going to talk about later. Nobody on that team had more than 7 sacks.
Right.
Like they just a bunch of guys had 7 and 6 and 5. It's just like they sacked you by committee. They just
deep.
Exactly. Yeah, they just pressured you by committee. So I would love if like he could get 7 or 8 and Derek Moore could get 7 or 8 and Wanham could get 7 or 8 and then Hutch does his normal 12 or 13 and then now you're
freeing up McNeil.
Right, yeah, you're right. Now you done sacked the quarterback 55 times, but nobody is producing those types of large numbers. So I don't know whether or not he'll emerge as the starter. And also he's a bigger defensive end. Like he's 275 or 280. Yeah. So, like he's more of an inside of the tackle shoulder. I think he could be a help against the run.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a less traditional defensive end, but he can also rush the passer. I envision scenarios where, him, Hutch, and Derek Moore will all be on the field in obvious passing situations for the offense, rushing the passer, and getting after it. So, no, I think that I don't know if he'll emerge as the starter, but he'll get a lot of reps either way. So,
he's got some pretty good athleticism.
He does. No, I mean, I agree with you. I think that he's shown himself to belong. I mean, I think he belongs here. He will get reps. I think that, even just one preseason game in, I think that he's demonstrated that he will get reps. He will get a lot of reps, and I think he'll do a lot of nice work and acquit himself extremely well in his first, season getting a lot of action. So, no, I mean, he's outstanding, man. And I think that, again, there'll be packages where all three of them will get on the field because Derek Moore, I think I read that he had the second highest pressure rate of anybody in the draft, I think, other than Reuben Baines. Don't quote me on that, but I think, he had the second highest pressure rate. So, yeah, no, I mean, I think both of them have demonstrated the ability to get after the passer, which, obviously we're going to need, which brings me to our next point of discussion, which is the Lions secondary. While the front seven generated solid pressure, including sacks from edge rusher Ahmed Hassanein, as we just said, the broader depth and bubble players in the secondary occasionally allowed intermediate completions to veteran quarterbacks Joe Flacco and Josh Johnson during sustained drives. Cornerbacks Keith Abney II and Nick Whiteside put together solid efforts in coverage, holding up well when tested by Cincinnati's backups. Safety Thomas Harper played 39 defensive snaps and turned in a productive outing, finishing with 3 total tackles and a pass defense. Third-year corner Ennis Rakestraw Jr. had a tough night, struggling with his assignment before exiting the game early due to a physical ailment, which hurt his roster stock.
Shocking.
Let me ask the people's champ, did the first preseason game answer questions about the secondary, or did it simply create more? What say you?
Yeah, it answered, I guess, questions we already knew the answer to. But I'm going to try to wean some positives out of this.
Okay.
To your point.
I'm with you, man. I need some positives, so hit me with them.
To your point that you highlighted, I do think, as we talked about previously with the Pharaoh, Keith Abney II looks like he belongs.
I agree.
Now, I'm not going to jump off a bridge and say, bon voyage to Terry and Arnold or anyone else we had, or DJ Reed or anyone else. But whenever you have a 5th-round pick and they have some of those measurables that are enticing on the second day of the draft, when you can kind of see that start to play out and, the fantasy starts to become real a little bit.
Sure.
You get hopeful. So hopefully he can build on that. I like that he played with some aggression and was able to use that length. Yeah. So I did like that. Nick Whiteside, he played a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
He played a lot, and again, it was a lot of bend, don't break.
Right. Yes. Right. The scheme was kind of off coverage, but yeah.
And I mean, at this point, with kind of where we're at with the secondary, that's kind of all that I can ask for is just for them to kind of be there when the ball's there.
Sure.
Aggressive but disciplined.
Yes.
If they can do that, and then, sometimes, especially when you look at a team like Cincinnati, if we're talking like a real game, at certain point, guys are going to be that guy.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah, right. You talking about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I don't think that we have a corner on our 53-man that can play press man against either one of them all game and not get cooked. So, but that's probably true for a lot of 53-man rosters. Because that's maybe the best receiver duo in football. You know what I'm saying? We got one of the best receiving duos in football. The Rams, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So I that doesn't concern me because a lot of corners can't play press man with them all day. Right. I'm like you. Be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Play a little cloud coverage. Don't let them over the top. I want responsible coverage.
That's it.
At this point. If we can stay responsible and like you said, a lot of it is going to depend on the pressure that we can get up front, making quarterbacks uncomfortable, getting the ball out.
And we know, folks, this is some serious cope going on right now.
Listen.
This is what the Lions secondary has reduced us to.
Yeah,
this is coping. So,
yes, we know that, the secondary still, to answer my own question, they created more questions than they answered, I think. Ennis Rakestraw, nephew had brought this up in an earlier conversation. I'm not sure what Ennis is yet. I don't know if he's a number 2, a number 3. I don't know if he's a dime corner, a nickel corner. I don't know where he stands on the depth chart based upon what I've seen thus far. He hasn't impressed me.
At this point, and I don't mean to say this to besmirch his talent, ability, effort, or the work he's put thus far to get to where he's at, but sometimes it just may just not be in the cards, bro. It's just this is.
Yeah, and listen, that's his first game action in the NFL, so.
But he can't make it on the field, it seems like.
That's another thing. If you're too fragile, bro, again.
That's what I'm saying.
We brought that up last week.
And I cautiously bring that up because.
You don't want to,
The respect that you have to give football players in terms of what they.
We talked about that last week.
But what I'm saying
it's
is
a rugged sport, man.
But it gets to a point where it's if you can't make it to the field, and this is, the consistent story on it.
Correct.
You kind of have to start to ask those questions.
I can't argue with you, bro. Because listen, what's going on? We talked about it, man. Major respect to football players. What is going on out there, man? And I don't even think the average fan, because, I mean, we just fans. I mean, the average fan probably doesn't appreciate the physicality even going on between, like, DBs and receivers. Like, it's a physical situation out there. And, it's easier to get injured than you believe. So, like, yeah, we're not trying to rag on the dude, but, yeah, like, but you either can or you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's either, what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be too hard on him, but, yeah, like.
Because there's pro-level physicality.
Yeah, like, you can either take the physicality or you can't.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We bottom line in it, man. So, yeah. No, man, but so, like, yeah, I just wanted to kind of get.
And I want them to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Because it only helps the home team. So, like, please get healthy and, shut me up.
And understand that we looking at it, and this will be my last point before we get to this Los Angeles Lakers sale. Mm-hmm. We looking at it from the standpoint of a Super Bowl contender because we're going to have to be able to defend the best teams in the conference.
Exactly.
That's what we looking at. You look at the Rams and all of the excellent pass catchers that they have. You're going to have depth in the defensive backfield. Yeah. It's not even going to be enough just to have two really good corners. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you're going to have some other guys, some depth pieces that can also cover. And you know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to be able to run and tackle. And you're going to have to be able to put pressure on because, hey, listen, man, Orlando Brown ain't walking through that door every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And that's another conversation, man. Because I sent you that,
bro. As soon as it happened,
I sent you that dude's name is Fanalize Sports. I give him a little shout out, man. And Anthony Bradford too, who is the guard for the Seattle Seahawks, man. It's a lot of funny film on his page with Orlando Brown and Bradford, man. And I'm like, I hope that he never run into this dude in public. Oh, yeah. Because I hope he carry a pew-pew. That's all I'm saying, because he going to need it.
I had one question for you about the defense before we get on the Lakers. How you feel about Devin White? Because he played a lot.
I thought he played well. I mean, listen, I think Devin White is a professional. He's a professional inside linebacker who can play. Mm-hmm. And I like him in the running game in particular, where you get concerned about a Devin White and, like nephew, he kind of made the joke. You get concerned about his sideline to sideline. Mm-hmm. I don't know, like these running backs now and these tight ends are very hard to cover, man.
They're athletic, man.
Yeah, so but I have no doubt about his ability to come up and play the run and be a sure tackler. Like that, I'm not worried about. But
and kind of quarterback the defense a little bit.
Correct, yeah.
Make sure the better athletes
he's
are where
a
they
veteran,
can be.
Yeah. Like, but the thing about it, and I think nephew made a great point, and I think one of the reasons that he's moved around is because he's a bit of a throwback in that way, though. Mm-hmm. Like now, your middle linebacker, they got to kind of be more Fred Warner-ish.
Yeah.
They got to be able to really move, which is one of the things that concern me about Jack Campbell. And again, and he's allayed that, in his time here because he was so big.
Right.
He was 260 plus pounds coming out of college. And I'm like, man, is he really going to be able to move? But he actually is very athletic. So he can.
All-state basketball player.
Correct, yeah. So he's got the athleticism to be able to change directions because that's the one thing about that linebacker spot now, man. You got to be able to get up and go. But I thought Devin White, he acquitted himself very, very nicely. Very nicely. He's off to a good start. He might just be a first and second down inside linebacker. But I think that, he acquitted himself well. Let's get on to the sale of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, man.
Bob Iger and Joshua Kushner have agreed to purchase billionaire Mark Walter's majority stake in the Los Angeles Lakers at a record $12.5 billion valuation. However, the sale has triggered a bitter legal battle within the Buss family. Iger and Kushner are acquiring roughly 65% of the team from Mark Walter, the CEO of Guggenheim Partners, who is shedding assets amid a wide-ranging federal financial probe. The transaction has sparked what media outlets are calling a fierce, quote, succession drama, unquote, among the heirs of the late Jerry Buss. 5 of the 6 Buss siblings voted to sell the family's remaining 17.8% stake to Iger and Kushner, which would bring the new owners' total control to approximately 83% of the franchise. Currently, Lakers governor Jeanie Buss is strongly opposing the sale. Her attorney has labeled the siblings' actions, quote, breach of trust, unquote, citing a 2017 Los Angeles Superior Court order that mandates the family retain enough shares, a minimum of 15%, to keep Jeanie in place as the controlling owner. If the 5 siblings successfully forced the sale of the remaining shares, Jeanie would lose her official status as governor of the franchise. Do you believe her remaining as governor is vital to the basketball operation, or do you believe it's time for her to move on? What say the people's champ?
Man, you kind of making me vouch for Jeanie Buss. Man. That's weird. But, it's kind of like the Lakers ain't the Lakers if the Buss family isn't.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Right?
Damn. Especially when it's like still siblings around that's relatively, fairly. They're
right.
Not young folks.
Young enough, right?
They're young enough. It's so, yeah, that's just like kind of just the NBA fanboy in me, the nostalgia factor, I guess. But, the business of it, it's brutal. You can't, what do they say? The eyes have it.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? 5 out of 6, right?
Yeah, so, it's rough, and it's strange to think about.
Yes. Yes, it is. I'm very mixed on this one. I'm with you. I don't want to see her removed from her position unceremoniously. But even if she wins this battle, I do feel that this is likely to linger.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are 6 of them, and 5 of them are ready to dispense with this ownership stake. And I don't think she's going to be able to hold off, like you said. The eyes have it. I don't think she's going to be able to hold off these siblings forever. And she can't unilaterally make decisions without them interfering.
Right.
And I don't think that the new owners are going to want to be bothered with that. Not in perpetuity.
Right.
So I think that somewhere at some point they're going to come to her and say, hey, this is a little messy, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand, but 6 of you have the 17.8% ownership stake, and you're the only one who is hell bent on, maintaining it while the others want to be bought out. So so as much as it kind of pains me to say it, I don't think she's going to win the battle.
No.
When it's all said and done. And I think in the immediate future, to answer the original question, I do think it hurts the basketball operation in the immediate future. What you got, nephew?
I just wanted to say, I think the reason this is playing out is partly because for what the public has heard for, I know my whole lifetime at least, is that out of all the children, Jeanie was the most invested in the organization.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So, of course, she's not going to be on board for selling the team because this was her life at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Compared to the others where they might have had an interest in it or whatnot, I can't speak for them because they not as in the public eye as much as or at all compared to Jeanie.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of get the feeling from the outside looking in that the other 5 really couldn't have cared less about the Lakers at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. If they could cash out like they are right now,
right,
they're going to cash out.
And she,
yeah, real talk. Yep, yeah, and I just think, I do think, like I said, in the immediate, I do think that, she's Rob Pelinka's biggest ally, and Did you hit Lance's mic, nephew? Sound like his mic might be off. Check your mic. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And, you know, he'll likely be retained. You know what I'm saying? I think because I think that's enough upheaval for now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they've done enough. But I think moving forward, he's going to be closely scrutinized.
And when does Luka come up for the lockdown deal?
Right. Is it next year or the year after? I'm not sure. I would have to look.
I think it might be 28.
But, you know, of course, new owners always have their own ideas about success and how to build a winner. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, they're going to be looking at that very closely and trying to figure out whether or not. So, you know, like, it could be very well that this new formula that he's put together with Austin Reeves and Walker Kessler and Luka is a success. You know, even though the Western Conference is highly competitive.
Luka's player option is in 28-29.
28-29, okay. Yep, so the sudden sale of the Los Angeles Lakers to venture capitalist Josh Kushner and former Disney CEO Bob Iger has sparked a mix of concerns and validation within the NBA community. While the abruptness and underlying drama raise eyebrows, the historic valuation heavily benefits the league's overall business model. On the one hand, flipping a crown jewel franchise in just 14 months creates an air of operational chaos, while on the other hand, the jaw-dropping price gives the NBA immense leverage as it negotiates incoming expansion fees for heavily rumored markets like Las Vegas and Seattle. Is the abrupt sale of the Lakers a bad look for the NBA, or just an unforeseen one-off beyond the control of even the strictest oversight? What say the people's champ?
I think short term it's a bad look.
Yeah.
I think short term it's a bad look. But I think what the NBA has their eye on is expanding even beyond the Atlantic.
Oh, wow, okay.
I just think that's where they're going with this thing. I think within the next probably, what's this, 2026? So let's say by 2040.
Oh, wow, okay.
There'll be some teams offshore.
Oh, wow.
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's where they're headed. Or if not a team, there's some type of partnership, you know, with FIBA where there's some type of, you know, like that cup that they have.
Yeah.
Like something on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
I think that's just the avenue that they're going in terms with the marketing, with the jerseys and everything, in terms of going like F1 style with the marketing.
Yes.
I think that the Lakers being flipped in such a short amount of time is kind of symbolic of just how the sports business is being handled now, just going forward. I think that's just a sad new reality that we're stepping into. Like change is a jagged pill.
What you got, nephew?
So, as far as the NBA in America is concerned, I don't think this is an indication of where it's going per se. What do I think more? What's the thing I'm trying to? What's the thing that the Big Ten caught flack for getting involved with? Private equity.
Private equity.
Do I think private equity firms are going to get more involved in sports ownership? Yes.
Okay.
Well, do I think like the venture capital? I think the venture capitalists and private equities are going to be more involved with like the NBA's plans to do the whole Europe expansion and the whole Europe League. That's where I think that would come in.
Okay.
This sale in particular, I think is more so of somebody trying to cover their ass for being on the hook for $21 billion.
That's absolutely what this is. Yeah, I mean, that under no uncertain terms, this is what this is.
Somebody trying to get off the hook for $21 billion and trying to do it while I would assume keeping what he sees as his biggest cash cow in the team that's trying to win their third straight World Series. Because not only is the Lakers sale in process of being done or whatnot, it sounds like he's also trying to sell his shares that he has in Chelsea FC.
Right, okay.
So everything right now is pointing to Mark Walter is trying to cozy up to the feds and trying to get them off his back.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with obviously what you said is that's absolutely correct, nephew. You know, the only thing that and I agree with you, I agree with the People's Champ. It's definitely a bad look in the short term, because billionaires cut corners. That's just a truism, and we, you know, we don't have time to really get into the Clippers thing, but we saw that there, and that turned out to be exactly what I said. I'm like,
from their inception,
yeah, and I'm like, and it's not what you know, is what you can prove. I'm like, this man, listen, we know he funneled Kawhi Leonard $28 million extra. I'm like, but you ain't gonna be able to prove it. I'm like that, and he made sure that you weren't gonna be able to actually prove it. He's not dumb enough to leave a paper trail. I'm like, the dude is a billionaire. I'm like, you know, the funny thing is that Dave Chappelle made a joke one time, and I'm certainly not. I am nothing close to a billionaire, but you know, the first time I got a big tax bill was in 2014, and Dave Chappelle made a joke. He said, "Man, the tax code is this big thick book." He said, "Man, that much of the tax code is about the rules." You know, and then he said the rest of the tax code is about how to get around them. And he's absolutely right. Like, if you ever read the tax code, that's exactly what it is. And that's what billionaires do. Billionaires skirt the rules. So I'm like, in my opinion, because I agree with you both, I think that the NBA is certainly expanding in the United States in the immediate future. We know that they're going to do 2 new franchises. They just voted on that. They have to do a better job of vetting who's buying these franchises. Yeah. Now, we know that they sold this franchise in 2 days. No. This deal came together.
It just hit the wire like, huh?
Yeah. So it wasn't no vetting going on. Now, luckily, we know who Bob Iger is, less so Kushner, but we definitely know who Bob Iger is. We know how he made his money. But see, the problem is that when you've made billions of dollars, and typically that money doesn't come all from one place, you know, right, unless you're an oil baron or something like that. Typically it's diversified. Like if you look at somebody like Warren Buffett, who has Berkshire Hathaway got, they portfolio got money coming from everywhere.
It's crazy.
Like you know, and this is why you have to vet who's purchasing what. Because if money's coming from nefarious places and people could end up, I mean, like it likely, if the NBA just made a call to the FBI or to the governmental organizations and said, hey, man, before we sell Mark Walters a majority stake in the Lakers, are there any probes open on him? Is anybody looking into him? Likely they would have got an answer and they could have moved on to another potential buyer. But there's no due diligence being done.
No.
And that is what you need to do in the future in order to avoid a situation like this, because you don't want, again, especially the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers is one of the most prized franchises in the National Basketball Association. Billionaires cut corners. They do. So what you got to figure out is how to keep yourself from getting into a situation where you might be selling to someone who has earn their money or some of their money in a nefarious way. They might not even know that it went on. But that's the NBA's job, because you don't want a franchise falling into the wrong hands. And that's what this demonstrates, is that it could possibly happen. What you got, nephew?
I just got one question before we move on.
Yes, sir.
Do you think there's a likelihood that Mark Walters somehow, if he skirts his way through this whole investigation or whatnot, he becomes the owner of the Vegas team?
Oh no! Oh no! I don't think the NBA is doing any more business with Buddy. I don't think so. I think the NBA is out of the Mark Walters business. But that's just my personal feeling.
That would be wild.
That would be. I think they out of the Mark Walters business though.
If they're smart.
Yeah. I think they're going to be out of the Mark Walters.
But what I don't understand is, like, I mean, I get it. Like, Iger's super paid, but, like, have the deal with the Warner Brothers sale even gone through?
I mean, Bob Iger got a
He's
ton.
Just throwing more like
he got a ton of paper.
Like, yeah, man, I got a couple billion to throw on this.
And even if he don't have it all in his bank account, like somebody will loan it. You know what I'm saying? Like Bob Iger's name is gold. You know what I'm saying? Like people know that he's, you know, like,
he ran the mouse.
Yeah,
period.
Right.
He ran the mouse.
Yeah, yeah. Like Bob Iger's name is gold. You know what I'm saying? Like even if like somebody will float him a few billion. Right. Like we know, bro.
You good for it, Bob?
Yeah. But yeah, no, and that was an interesting story that was kind of breaking when we was leaving last time, and I definitely wanted to get to that. I know it's a lot more going on, man, but we got to cover our NFL divisions, man. So let's get into the NFC West. That's that's where the Super Bowl defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks reside, and they enter the 2026 season looking to navigate their Super Bowl title defense under head coach Mike McDaniel, coming off an incredible championship run where Sam Darnold eliminated where he eliminated mistakes. Quarterback Sam Darnold is firmly locked in as the unquestioned starter, while the offense is transitioning to new coordinator Brian Fleury. The scheme remains largely continuous. Darnold has looked sharp, pushing the ball downfield to the reigning AP Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith-Njigba. The running back room is operating as a committee while Zach Charbonnet works his way back from offseason ACL surgery. First-round rookie Jadarian Price gave the team a scare with lower body soreness that sidelined him for the first preseason game against Dallas, but he has recently returned to practice. In their absence, George Halani and free agent addition Emmanuel Wilson have taken significant camp reps. Can the Seahawks repeat as Super Bowl champions? What say the people's champ?
Nah, I don't see it, bro. It's just so hard to repeat as champion.
It really
NFL.
is.
It's just a hard thing to do. I mean, I think they're still going to be competitive. They're still contenders, even though it is a backfield by committee. I mean, I just feel the offense is that well-oiled of a machine, and they have, good enough protection up front.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Darnold pretty much, he has the playbook down, and he's got the best weapon in the league.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
To get the ball to. So, I don't know how long Charbonnet is out.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be.
Because that was ACL, like
and it was in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, you may not see him at Thanksgiving.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So I was going to say at least till late October, November, maybe.
And I mean, losing the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. That's going to be painful. We're going to get to that conversation in depth.
That kind of changes things.
Yeah, that changes the look.
And again, I think Sam Darnold has exercised all the demons. He's a champion.
Yep.
But this is now a different phase yet again for him as now the hunted.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's not cute. It's not cute anymore.
Great point. Yep.
So let's see how he adjusts to that. I think he's proven more than enough where I can say I think he'll, respond because he's done nothing but that to get to where he's at now. So I think that's a different element. But, I just think with that, with this division specifically.
Oh, man.
Repeating is a tall, Wimby tall task.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so listen, I'll disagree. I think they could repeat. By all accounts, the defense will be stellar again. I mean, Mike McDaniel is a fantastic defensive coordinator. They re-signed Devin Witherspoon, 4 years, $132 million, making him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history, $101 million guaranteed. They rushed the quarterback by committee. We talked about that. Nobody had more than 7 sacks. And by the way, the two players that had 7 sacks were the interior defensive linemen, Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams. So, I mean, I love the defensive philosophy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't put the burden on one guy, and the opposing team's quarterback has to be leery of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like, oh, okay, they got, said edge rusher over here, or they got a really great defensive tackle coming up the middle. They sort of get to you by committee. So I think they could. Like you, I don't foresee it. But I'm like, would it shock me if they repeated? No. I mean, they have a great defense, and defense is what wins championships. Like, they will still be a terror on the opposing offense. Yes. I mean, like when nobody's going to want to go up there to Seattle to play a football game this season. If they end up with home field advantage again, watch out, because nobody's going to want to go up there. I remember reading long ago that they are the furthest stadium away from an opponent's stadium in the NFL. They are almost 900 miles away from their closest opponent's stadium, and that's San Francisco. So, like, you got to go way up to Seattle in order to play them. That's a long road trip for anybody, even the 49ers, who are their closest opponent. So, no, I mean, they absolutely could, but I don't think they will. They are not my pick because I think the running back situation and the offense overall is – I don't think they have enough explosive weapons. I don't think that, because eventually, as great as JSN is, I think that they will, when you have one great offensive weapon, they'll find a way to take that away from you. And then, like you depending on, and again, no disrespect to Cooper Kupp, but he getting up there, you know what I'm saying? Like, the tight end situation, they have good tight ends, nothing jaw-dropping, or awe-inspiring. Like you said, it's running back by committee. We're going to talk about Jadarian Price in a minute, they first-round draft pick, who I like. Mm-hmm. But it's just you start looking for those other explosive offensive weapons, and you like, it's not a lot of there. You know what I'm saying? It's like JSN and then a far drop-off to the second best offensive weapon. And that's what you don't want to see when you are looking at these types of situations. You want to see, a number two that puts something on the defense's mind. You don't want them to just load up on your best guy and be able to take him away, and then all of a sudden you out of explosive players.
Yeah, especially in this division.
Yeah, right, yeah. I know, yeah. I was looking at this division from top to bottom. It's nasty, man. And Arizona, I feel bad for Mike LaFleur. I'm like, boy, oh boy, you talk about an uphill climb, my brother.
Ice skating uphill.
But we're going to talk about Arizona. They're going to have a moment in the sun. The Seattle Seahawks running back situation, heavily unsettled due to a flurry of injuries, a massive offseason departure in Kenneth Walker, and recent roster reshuffling. With regular season preparations ramping up, the team is working through a transition phase in the backfield. Seattle selected Jadarian Price in the first round of the NFL draft to be the future of the backfield, with Zach Charbonnet starting the season on the PUP list due to let me ask you, do you expect Jadarian Price to replace Kenneth Walker's production? We'll say the people's champ.
I think he can. Yep. Walker was he was versatile though.
He was.
He was versatile. So I don't know if the production will look quite the same.
Right.
But I think he can move the sticks.
Okay.
And that's kind of what you want, especially, again, if he's kind of sharing the load to start out.
Right.
I think he's got a lot of talent, man.
Price is
he's
very
extremely
good.
explosive.
But
quick. K9 is kind of like one of those guys that I guess he's just going to be one of those dudes that always floats below the radar.
Yes.
No matter what he does, it's just going to be like, yeah, he's good, but, he's just good. And it's crazy to me because he's a home run hitter.
Mm-hmm.
So, will Price come in and provide that for them?
Yeah.
I think he's capable.
I do too.
But again, the NFL is different, man. Will he take that first lick and be like, I'm good?
Right.
Or
that's the part. I don't think that he will replace the production. I don't even think it's fair to ask him to do that. Again, like when you look at Kenneth Walker's overall production, particularly last season, 1,300 all-purpose yards in the regular season. Yeah. He only had 5 touchdowns. And then he had over 400 all-purpose yards in 3 playoff games and 4 touchdowns. But he averaged 4.6 yards a carry in the regular season and then over 5.5 yards per touch in the postseason. And I think that's where you start to he only touched it 221 times. And then even if you look at that and you say, okay, let's say Price manages to reproduce that, you got to remember that we just talked about it. Charbonnet is probably going to be out for the first 8 to 10 weeks of the year. So remember that when Walker was producing these numbers, he was sharing time in the backfield with Charbonnet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Charbonnet is highly productive.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Yeah,
so, like, you know, like you would probably need Jadarian Price to do 1.5 times what Kenneth Walker did because they're missing also Zach Charbonnet. So I think, again, I just think that there's going to be a deficit within that backfield. You know, like they're going to feel the Kenneth Walker loss even more so because Charbonnet was hurt. And I'm like, I thought that this was the wrong time for the Seattle Seahawks to get, you know, to get tight with the wallet. Right. I'm like, and they signing, you know, Tyrion Arnold and
right. But do you necessarily think had they kept Walker, would their alternative be to just give him more touches, or would they still go back to the more so running back by committee model? Whereas, you know, like say with the Lions, when Montgomery was hurt, we was like, bet more touches for Jameer.
Right.
Is Walker that kind of feature back, do you think?
I mean, I still think they probably would have drafted a running back with Charbonnet being hurt. Maybe not Jadarian Price in the first round. Right. Maybe somebody further down in the draft. You know what I'm saying? But no, I still think that they would have probably found somebody to pair with him. Okay. You know, you need 2 running backs in the NFL now anyway. Right. But I think that you could have you still would anticipate his production not dropping off.
Right, for sure.
And then, you know, now who's to say that other running back would give you Zach Charbonnet's production? But the problem now is that you're trying to replace both.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to repeat that Super Bowl. Just see, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the issue that I'm seeing, is that you're attempting to replace both of them for the first 8 to 10 weeks of the year, not just one of them.
Yeah.
Like replacing one of them is you know, that seems feasible, but replacing both of them is where I think, you know, we get into
that's tough.
Yeah, an issue. And again, like you said, I mean, I thought you brought it up perfectly. You're the hunted now. Like people are going to come in and they're going to want to knock you off. And you also brought up very aptly in that division. That division, like that division has the best rosters in football. Yeah. Like the 3 teams at the top of that division and the Denver Broncos. Like them the 4 best rosters in football. Like top to bottom. If you ask me, I mean, it's one man's opinion, but that, in my opinion, those are the 4 best rosters in football. You can't get
pressed.
Yeah, you can't. There's not 4 better rosters in football. But I digress. The Seattle Seahawks plan to sign free agent cornerback Tyrion Arnold. I did want to get your opinion on this, but the formal finalization of the deal is currently delayed as the team navigates complex league protocols regarding his serious legal situation. Reports indicate that once the contract is officially executed, the NFL is expected to immediately place Arnold on the commissioner's exempt list. This designation means he will be paid his 1-year league minimum salary, but will be completely barred from practicing or playing in games while the league investigates his case. Were you surprised when the Seattle Seahawks announced their decision to sign Tyrion Arnold? And with the league's decision, do you think it still happens? What say the People's Champ?
I mean, yeah, I was shocked. Like, what's going on? Right. Seattle, like, this is, I mean, this charity? Like, is it somewhat an organization, a family friend? And again, TA, get your money, bro. You got, you got family to take care of. But it would take someone way smarter than me when it comes to, Seattle salary cap situation.
Right.
And, front office psychology or psyche.
Right.
To get me to make any sense of that. I mean, and then I think they also had a workout with Diggs too, right?
No,
they're
he's
going to
signed.
sign him too.
Oh, he
Yes,
signed.
He signed.
He signed.
Oh, he signed.
They got money to
So,
burn.
hey, let me hold something.
Right.
Let me hold something.
I'm with you. Hey, you in Seattle, man. Y'all feeling generous, my baby.
I can fill up a mean glass of Powerade on time.
Right, man. If y'all got paper to burn, baby,
Like
holla
2
at your
paper
boy.
cups at once, we can get it going.
I'm going to be out there for 2 weeks in November, man. I can come in and talk.
But yeah, I mean, I just don't get. I mean, the likelihood of him playing is nil.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. And I'm like,
They love his character.
I guess.
Let's throw the boy a bone.
Yeah, I guess so. But
Hard out here for a pimp.
let's get to the
So,
Rams, man.
So before that,
Go ahead.
Before that, the question I have is, should we be looking at Seattle? And yes, granted, they do have a lot of pieces around the board.
Mm-hmm.
These two moves scream that they're not sure about the other side of the field opposite Witherspoon at the end of the day.
Right. I agree. They gave him $101 million guaranteed, and they didn't re-sign Kenneth Walker. I'm not really understanding exactly what they're doing, and I have a lot of respect for Seattle and, their roster construction and the way that they, build their team. But, I find a lot of the moves and the signings and the way the money is being dispersed a little curious.
Head scratching.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure about what's happening here. But yeah, no, I'm with you, nephew. And then they let Kobe Bryant go. Like he signed with the Bears.
And that's what I'm saying. I wasn't talking more so about I'm talking about strictly on the defensive side of the ball, the opposite side of the field that Devin Witherspoon is not covering.
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm with you. No, you are absolutely correct. Yeah. I mean, for as good as I think they are up front, they have a lot of depth in the front seven. Yeah, I think that they are concerned, and they probably should be, about the defensive backfield. Yeah, no, you're right. And we about to talk about the Rams. With the Rams in your division and the 49ers, you should be worried about your defensive backfield, because you're gonna need a good defensive backfield. Because if you don't have one, it's going to show real fast. The Los Angeles Rams are one of the most fascinating teams in the NFL. Head coach Sean McVay has his squad in, quote, all in, unquote, mode, pushing the chips forward with aggressive blockbuster veteran additions while simultaneously planning for the long-term future. General Manager Les Snead shocked the league by trading for reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett. Paired with a rising core, Garrett adds immediate, overwhelming pass rush power. He is currently managing a minor knee issue, but is expected back at practice next week. The Rams fixed their biggest 2025 weakness by securing elite cornerbacks Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson from Kansas City. Legendary defensive lineman Aaron Donald has already dropped by for 2 workouts with the team, while Sean McVay notes there is, quote, no new news, unquote. The possibility of Donald, coming out of retirement to play alongside Garrett remains a massive storyline. Are the Rams the favorite to win both the Super Bowl and the division with the addition of Myles Garrett? What say the people's champ?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the reigning MVP on the other side of the ball, still
Absolutely.
spinning it like nobody's business.
Yeah, man.
They were able to re-sign Higbee.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a good deal.
Excellent tight end. Yep.
Hopefully Puka's healthy physically and mentally.
Yep.
This season.
Yep, I think he will be, and he's going to be playing for a contract.
Right. And approaching his prime.
Yep.
And then, I mean, of course. I mean, getting Myles Garrett
Right.
and presenting him with the proposition of playing meaningful football.
Right.
Should be a scary thought for everyone, not just in the NFC West, but, everyone that's got the Rams on their calendar this season.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if he's doing what he's doing for the Browns.
Right. Right.
imagine him highly motivated.
Yeah.
So and then again, like just the steel chair shots with getting McDuffie and Watson is just like, like you already hooked the leg. Now y'all pulling the trunks too. So
and what about the Aaron Donald cherry on top?
I mean, I'm just not even trying to even put that in the universe because then we're starting to approach like unwatchable. You know what I mean? Like I'll just tune in January.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I may check out the weekly game of the week here and there, but in terms of intense fan interest, it would just really turn into whatever. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know, man.
Now, how is that? Like, is there like a deadline? Can they like put him like as a reserve type?
Well, let's talk about
and
it,
then
man.
activate him late. Like, how does that exactly work?
An Aaron Donald return could create arguably the most terrifying defensive front in NFL history. For a decade, Donald faced near constant double and triple teams, pairing him with reigning Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett forces opposing offenses into impossible choices. The most significant obstacle to making the comeback official is Donald's remaining contract. He still has 1 year left on his post-Super Bowl contract worth $30 million. Fitting that massive sum under the cap alongside Garrett's contract requires serious financial gymnastics from the front office. Head coach Sean McVay has emphasized there is no, quote, invisible deadline, unquote, for Donald to make his final decision. The future Hall of Famer is purely using these August workouts to see how his body handles football-specific pad contact before giving a definitive yes or no.
Okay.
So let me ask the people's champ, man. Do you expect Aaron Donald to return to the Rams? If so, how effective do you think he will be, and in what capacity?
Okay, so how old is Donald?
35.
35. Okay. So he's had about 2 years off?
I believe, yes.
$30 million.
Mm-hmm.
He can probably come back after their bye or something.
I mean, yeah, like,
Or would they do somewhere he plays home games?
I mean, like, yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, like, I think, he would come back for week 1 because, I think maybe he would play 25 snaps a game, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know how done he was with football when he retired the first time. I guess I would be led to think there's some curiosity there, or does he feel that Myles Garrett is that good and maybe he's got, like us, some fan in him where he starts to kind of fantasize what that could look like on the field.
Right.
But, is his body capable of making it look like how he and we are envisioning it at 35? I think, that's the question.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect that. I mean, the dude is a gym rat. He still looks incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen his workouts. Yeah. He can still toss around grown men.
I remember Jerry Verse, that very famous press conference that Jerry Verse did when he was talking about he went to work out with Aaron Donald, and he was like, no, bro. He was like, I'm never doing that again.
Right.
He was like, dude, he was like, we worked out, and he was like, you ready to work out?
Yeah, dude.
And he was like that because that was just a warm-up, and he was like, oh, no. He was like, man, he said, I ran back to the facility, like, don't let him in the facility, bro. I don't want to see him again.
And the thing about it is, if he can come back and be Aaron Donald, oh man,
he don't even have to come back and be Aaron Donald.
Oh man,
he can be some version of Aaron Donald, and that would still like as good as they already are. Like they got Braden Fisk. Like Braden Fisk is a monster,
but it's like Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like we were robbed of seeing like Jerome Brown and Reggie White,
right?
Prime, just taking people's heads off.
Yeah.
And like this might be
some version of that.
Some version of that.
Yep.
Because we know that Myles is at his peak.
Yeah.
And like I said, like you say, Donald don't even have to be close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he don't even have to be the Aaron Donald of vote. What you got, nephew?
That's scary.
It would be funny if all of this is just Aaron Donald getting ready to go train at Diamond Gym for one day.
I mean, listen, as a Detroit Lions fan, I certainly hope that's the situation.
Man,
I do not want Aaron Donald back on a football field
at all.
But unfortunately, I expect him to return. I expect him to return in a limited capacity, though. Like, I think, like, maybe 20 snaps a game, obvious pass rushing situations, and I expect that to ramp up in the playoffs.
For $30 million.
Yeah.
Can't turn it down.
Yeah.
Bro.
I expect that to ramp up in the playoffs, and I do expect him to be effective. You know, like, I expect him to use him situationally.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like
a Merc.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's going to be purely situational. And I think that, you know, he can still be great situationally because, you know, it's like riding a bike. He don't forget how to do it
now.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Von Miller, 40 years old. He just got signed by who? The Cowboys? Yep. And he had 9 sacks last year. Yep. So, yeah, I think that Aaron Donald can do so. He's going to be used situationally. You know, he will be good situationally. And God help us all.
Damn, Von Miller 40.
Yeah. Damn, wow. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Let's get to the 49ers, man. And let's all touch and agree and hope that Aaron Donald does not return.
Right.
Because the Rams are good enough without him. San Francisco 49ers are navigating a highly turbulent training camp as they look to rebound from a lopsided playoff exit. The team is adjusting to a heavily altered coaching structure following head coach Kyle Shanahan's offseason car accident and subsequent concussion recovery. Meanwhile, a revitalized roster features new high-profile weapons. They're trying to reestablish chemistry amidst a flurry of training camp injuries. The biggest splash of the offseason was signing veteran wideout Mike Evans away from Tampa Bay. Though currently dealing with a minor quad strain, his fit alongside Deebo Samuel and Christian Kirk fundamentally changed Brock Purdy's passing options. Keeping the star-studded nucleus intact is proving difficult. Christian McCaffrey has dealt with some minor training camp injuries. George Kittle spent time on the PUP list with an Achilles issue, a ruptured Achilles. And rookie first-rounder Ricky Pearsall is recovering from a successful surgery to repair his right PCL. Is this season entirely about who's going to be and remain available for the San Francisco 49ers? What say the people's champ?
Absolutely. Much like it's been for the past handful of seasons for the San Francisco 49ers. It's like pick a guy.
Yeah.
And it's always like a key cog to what they do that seems to fall. And, again, we often give them credit for being able to find guys that they can plug in and sustain the productivity. But, yeah, man, it's like the idea of Mike Evans and Deebo Samuel and Pearsall and all that, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Looks even better on paper, but how long will you have it?
Yeah.
Is the question. And even with Purdy has shown a propensity to get nicked up and battered up.
Yes.
You know, and he misses time.
Yep.
So, I mean, you know, the talent's always going to be there. The preparation's always going to be there. But who's going to be there executing? Because the game plan's going to be there, and it's going to work, and it's going to be effective. Shanahan's proven.
Yes.
But it's just a matter of what level of player will be there executing it. Because if they can get their top shelf guys to be out there, then they can play and compete and potentially beat anyone.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But if they're not there, then, you know, they'll give you a dog fight.
Yep.
And you know, be the fly in the ointment for a lot of teams. But that's kind of like their ceiling. Their ceiling, to me, it will be based on the health of their stars and their key guys. And, of course, that starts with C-Mac.
Yeah, no, and I mean, the thing about the 49ers is that I think that, just from a logistical standpoint, for a football team, they're an older team. Because I think Brock Purdy I think he was older when he was drafted. Yeah. And then they had long playoff runs. I think they were in the NFC Championship game like several years in a row. They went to 2 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Like they've played a lot of extra football games, I guess is my other point. And we talk about it all the time with the Lions. The extra hitting, the extra wear and tear. I mean, and theirs is live football games. Theirs is not training camp and just doing too much extra hitting. Theirs is actual long playoff runs. Because we talk about that in basketball all the time, but it's apropos in football too. Like if like even 3 extra football games a year, like we already have they've already added an extra football game. Like we went from 16 to 17. If you're playing 3 extra football games a year all the time, like and basically when they have an upright Christian McCaffrey, they're in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So then they get to play like last year. They won a playoff game and so that's 2 extra games. So you playing if you got an extra season of football on you in 5 years, that's a lot of extra that's a lot of extra football. So that's why we see, Dre Greenlaw being hurt. Kittle done tore his Achilles. Fred Warner done missed time. Nick Bosa done missed time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you start to see the attrition. Right. And then, Ricky Pearsall, he had a mishap. He was shot, early on in his, before his rookie campaign. So, that's just bad luck. But then, like Deebo Samuel, like even though he was not with him late, he spent 1 year away, now he back. And then, Mike Evans they signed an older free agent. He's an older free agent, even though again, he's been to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like you start to look at all the extra football that everybody's played and then
got hurt late in the season.
Correct. And then they're an older team anyway. So yes, I just said that the Rams have the best roster in football. A healthy 49ers roster might be second best. Like they have a great left tackle in Trent Williams. They got a top 3 running back in McCaffrey, like you mentioned. They got great receiving core. Like Mike Evans, when healthy, is one of the very best wide receivers in football. We know that. Deebo Samuel is the best Swiss Army knife in football when healthy. Ricky Pearsall, great young receiver. Christian Kirk is one of the best slot receivers in football.
And Kittle's Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle was, he trying to return. I mean, he tore his Achilles in the playoffs. Yeah. He trying to return for week 1, which is sounds absurd. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen, but Lenore is a great defensive back. They might have the best linebacker duo with Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner. I'm like, they have a great personnel. Like they have great personnel from top to bottom. It's just a matter of, like you said, this is all about health and availability for the San Francisco 49ers, period, point blank. If they can be on the field, they're going to be a tough out for anybody. It's going to be hard, and nobody's going to want to play them either. If they healthy and whole and complete, but unfortunately for them over the past, 3 or 4 years, that's just been a big if. Let me ask you about Christian McCaffrey. He's the defining engine of Kyle Shanahan's offense. Since being traded to San Francisco in 2022, he's transformed the team's scheme from a highly efficient system into an elite multidimensional force. His unique dual threat capabilities alter defensive game plans, ease pressure on the quarterback, and dictate the team's weekly success. McCaffrey's statistical impact is historical. In the 2023 season, he led the NFL in scrimmage yards and touchdowns, earning NFL Offensive Player of the Year honors. After injuries disrupted his 2024 campaign, McCaffrey returned for a massive 2025 season, shouldering a league-high 413 touches. Is Christian McCaffrey the most important player to his team in the NFL? What say the people's champ?
Most important. Yep. Any position, either side of the ball.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
And the only reason why the only guy I can think of off the top of my head that I would put over him is number 15 in Kansas City.
Yep.
That's the only guy.
That I wrote down. I said there's a round table. And at that round table, there's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. And I think Christian McCaffrey sits at that round table, though. Like, if somebody told me that he was, it would be hard for me to argue against it. But, if you told me Patrick Mahomes was, it'd be hard for me to argue. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a handful of guys in the NFL that if you told me they was the most important guy to their team, it'd be hard for me to argue you down, and he's one of them.
I mean, if you just look at the market now, you look at the summer that we just had with running backs.
Yeah.
You look at, started with Walker, and then you got Jonathan Taylor got his bag.
Yep.
And then Bijan, and then Jameer. I mean, C-Mac was kind of the guy to kind of bring back that Roger Craig, Marshall Faulk, Reggie Bush in college, just put him anywhere on the field. Just get him in space.
No doubt.
With a guy so he can make him look stupid and get 6.
Yep.
He was kind of that back in the mid-teens, late teens.
Yeah, no question.
To kind of bring in what we're kind of seeing now with running backs, except these backs now are bigger than McCaffrey. These guys are coming in 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, no question. I agree. I ain't mad at Mahomes. I'm not mad at Allen. I ain't mad at Lamar Jackson. But I think McCaffrey is he's right there. He touches the ball so much. He's an engine in the passing game, engine in the running game. Brock Purdy, you see how, when he was out in 2024, they won 6 games. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, they double-digit wins the year before. Double-digit wins when he came back, 6 games when he was out. When he missed the whole year, it was bad. So, I do. I think that he's important to his team. Yeah, like you said, I don't know that I could say he's more important than Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes because I think if Josh Allen goes down, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like we was talking about with Jared, like I don't care. Like I'm one of them people, I don't care about backup quarterback. I like the backup quarterback battle is not interesting to me at all. As a matter of fact, I want the worst one. Like because if our guy go out for the whole year, I want 3-14. I want that number one. Get me closest to the number 1 pick as you can get.
Right.
Let's make that year count. I want the year to count. Give me the nastiest backup quarterback in football. Now I'm of that school. A lot of people like, man, you want a good backup quarterback because if your quarterback go down for 6 weeks, you want somebody that can go 3-3. I'm not from that school. Your backup, if your starting quarterback go down, you sunk.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah. I don't need Gardner Minshew. He can stay where he at. You can believe him where he is. But that's just me.
Great mustache though.
Yeah. Hey man, listen. Shout out to the mustache.
Very Wyatt Earp-esque.
Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals.
Unfortunately.
Let's get to them. The Arizona Cardinals entered the 2026 season under new head coach Mike LaFleur. Following a 3-14 reset featuring high-profile changes like the release of Kyler Murray, drafting a rookie running back Jeremiah Love in the first round, and a daunting strength of schedule, Mike LaFleur brings a fresh identity and offensive scheme with coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. Front office and coaching additions aim to build a physical, punishing run game and improve line play. After moving on from Murray, the Cardinals brought back Jacoby Brissett on a 1-year deal to serve as the starter. However, his offseason was clouded by a contract dispute that kept him away from early programs. Behind Brissett sits highly touted rookie Carson Beck. Beck has shown substantial progress throughout training camp in the preseason, setting up an inevitable future quarterback battle as the season progresses. Should Carson Beck be the day 1 starter in a year with very few expectations in light of an impending quarterback-rich 2027 draft? What say the people's champ?
Absolutely, yes. Like, it is the Arizona. take every noodle out the pot and sling away at the nearest wall. And whatever sticks, you roll with it if you're the Arizona Cardinals. Like, yes, please. What are we waiting for? This is nothing new for Jacoby Brissett. He's number 2.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. Man, you know what you're getting with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, and no knock on Jacoby. Get your money, man.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you've made it thus far being a reliable, dependable backup quarterback. And, there ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of guys make a lot of money for a long time doing just that. Yep. So keep negotiating or whatever you got to do. Right. But, yeah, let's cut the noise. Start Carson back.
Yep. I would start him from day one. I would give him all 18 weeks to see what we have in Carson Beck. If Carson Beck can throw for 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns, then you got your quarterback of the future. And then you can draft, accordingly and start building around him. Yeah. If Carson Beck is what we believe Carson Beck is, then you can draft your quarterback and you can have Carson Beck as a reliable backup. And you can tell Jacoby Brissett, it's been real. Go find your backup money elsewhere, and we can start from there.
And while we're on the Arizona, what is up with Marvin Harrison?
Man, I don't.
Is he in his head?
It's interesting. He's in Arizona,
right? And then there's that,
right? I don't know.
But at one point, it's kind of cheap to place the sins or achievements of the father upon the child,
right?
But I mean, Pops was in Indianapolis, but he did have the sheriff with him.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I mean,
it's like, I mean, bad situations kind of come with being a high draft pick.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to make that bum ass quarterback look better.
Yeah.
Than what he actually is. With that name on the back of your jersey.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think that, there's still time for Marvin to have a breakout season this year. I expect for him to take a leap forward this year because he's just too talented not to.
Right.
There's just been so much instability in Arizona. Again, like he's another, like we talked about Shedeur last week. He's another one. It's just like, it's hard to say what the heck is going on because you don't really feel like, he's been in an incubator that's allowed him to really flourish. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for him. It's just, that's kind of how it, like when you don't have like certain players need certain things. Not everybody is Justin Jefferson, and, Justin Jefferson is going to be Justin Jefferson, whether it's Max Brosmer or Carson Wentz or Sam Darnold or whomever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just think that this kid may need a better incubator than what he's had thus far in order to really break out, because we know the talent is there. Like, there's no question. He's big, he's fast, he's physical, he's athletic, he's got great hands. Like, something is missing. Like you said, like, is it in his head? Yeah. Is it does he not like his environment? Right. Is it the coaching? Yeah, like, is there a disconnect between him and his quarterback? Like, who
he got too many hoes going on in Arizona. Maybe. Scottsdale kind of live, Jack. I'm here to tell you.
Maybe. Let me ask you about Jeremiah Love. As the highest drafted running back since Saquon Barkley went number 2 overall in 2018, Arizona's massive investment implies Jeremiah Love will immediately be treated as a focal point. In his preseason debut, Love flashed his game-breaking athleticism, tallying 14 touches for 72 yards and creating viral highlights with sharp spin moves and defender hurdles before his injury. The high ankle sprain suffered in the preseason debut typically carries a 2 to 6 week recovery timeline and can linger, threatening his effectiveness early in the regular season. Despite the injury, do you believe that Love will be crowned the Offensive Rookie of the Year? Why or why not? Would say the people's champ.
Oh, that's tough, man, because the high ankle sprain, that is just like the worst injury you could really have as a running back, dude, because just the propensity to step on somebody else's foot. The turf itself.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think you're on the mend, the slightest tweak can just blow that thing right back up, and you set yourself back in terms of recovery. So that alone bothers me. I think Mendoza may have a shot to do some things.
Yep, I like
in Vegas. If they let him rip from week one, I think we'll probably talk about that.
Yes, we definitely we're getting over to the AFC.
And also too, I think this year you've got a lot of incoming rookie receivers that have the potential to put up some nice numbers.
I concur.
So yeah, I think the injury, and also the weapons that are coming in this class with him, I think works against him. But that being said, I think he'll have some highlight plays for sure.
Listen, I think that he's right to be the front runner now. I tend to agree with you. And again, I don't want to portend anything negative on Jeremiah Love. But somebody got a voodoo doll of running backs in Arizona. Because, like, everybody that played running back last year went down with a season-ending injury.
Right.
James Conner, Trey Benson, and Bam Knight, they all had season-ending injuries last year. And Amari DeMarcado missed multiple games with various injuries. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on in Arizona. I don't know if the training staff is, like out back eating hot wings and drinking beer, though. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But somebody don't like the running backs in Arizona. So, yeah, I kind of agree. I would go with Carnell Tate if it was me, nice. Out of Ohio State.
Nice.
That would be my dark horse pick. I like Jeremiah Love. I think it has nothing to do with his talent. I just don't like what's going on with the running backs in Arizona over the last couple of years. They just have seemed to be beat up for some reason. And then he gets the high ankle sprain in his first preseason game. I'm like, I don't know if it's the tape they using.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know what's going on in Arizona. The running backs are just beat up out there. So,
running backs, receivers, high ankle sprains and hammies, you just do not and groins. You do not want to hear.
Yeah, right. You don't want to hear soft tissue injuries. So let's get to it, man. Who's winning the NFC West and why, man? What say the people's champ?
I'm going lazy, and I have the Rams winning the division just for the simple fact that, you got Stafford coming back. He doesn't look like he's tapering off at all. And, again, the defense seemed to kind of solidify the question marks in the backfield. And, dude, if they get Aaron Donald, what are we really talking about?
I got the Rams, too. Like you said, maybe that's just the lazy way to go. But I got the Rams. The roster construction has just been impeccable. The weakest position group is probably linebacker, and Landman would be a starter on just about every team in the league, and he'd be the best linebacker on half of them. So, and that's their weakest position group. So, everywhere else they strong. Cam Kinchins at safety is an excellent young safety. He's Pro Bowl level. They got two excellent corners. We already talked about that.
Yep.
Great edge rusher. Even if Aaron Donald doesn't come back, they have a great young defensive tackle. They like you said, they got everything. They have it all. They got a great tight end, great receiving duo. They have a great left tackle in Alaric Jackson. Shout out to Renaissance High School. They got two excellent running backs. What's
it's not
missing?
Fair.
Yeah, it's not. What's missing? So I expect that they should win the division. I don't think it'll be easy. It is a tough division.
Tough division for sure.
If both Seattle and San Francisco stay healthy, they will be in the mix. But I just think that the Rams just are loaded from top to bottom, and it's just going to be hard week in and week out to pick against them to even lose a game. let alone multiple games, let alone any in the division. So let's get to the AFC West, man. The Kansas City Chiefs entered the 2026 NFL season fueled by an unfamiliar narrative, seeking a major bounce-back year. Following a surprise 6-11 finish in 2025 that saw them miss the postseason for the first time in a decade, General Manager Brett Veach and head coach Andy Reid executed an aggressive roster overhaul to fix an offense that struggled with discipline and identity last year. Eric Bieniemy returns as offensive coordinator, bringing back his trademark detail-oriented, hard-nosed coaching style. Patrick Mahomes spent the offseason recovering from a torn knee ligament sustained last season. Camp report shows his mobility and deep ball velocity are back to form. To fix a run game that finished last in explosive play rate in 2025, KC signed reigning Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III to a historic free agent deal. Expect a more balanced look with Mahomes under center. What is Walker's immediate impact on the Chiefs' offense, and do you expect him to see a heavy workload early and often? What say the People's Champ?
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how Andy Reid works with all of these new weapons. I think the offense will still be fast-paced.
Sure, yes.
But I think it will look different.
Yep.
I think Walker, he's used to carrying a heavy load.
Yep.
So I think, pause. Good. Oh, man, whoa. I'm out of pocket. But I think that, of course, that helps Patrick, but how the rest of the team adjusts, because, again,
yep.
we've got another year with hopefully the weapons at wide out can stay healthy and on
yes.
the field. We've got another year of Travis Kelce being older.
Yes.
So I think he keeps Mahomes upright.
Yes. Yes.
Which ultimately helps the Rams. But I think there will be an adjustment period.
Yes.
In terms of how the offense will look. But yeah, Walker would definitely help Mahomes and help that offense.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. I think K9 makes an immediate and positive impact. I think initially he gets a heavier workload because Mahomes, despite the fact that they say he looks like himself, he will still have to psychologically get back to, his normal way of moving, his normal way of doing business. And I also think that the play action and run action passing game is going to, it's going to be just opened up in an entirely new way, because now teams are going to have to respect the run. And they haven't had to do that really with the Chiefs over the last 2 to 3 years. Yeah. Because, again, they haven't had those explosive run play opportunities. So, no, man, I think that, I love the addition of Kenneth Walker. I think that was exactly what they needed.
Yeah, that was a home run.
Yeah, that was exactly what they needed in order to open up, because now they got those deep ball threats like Thornton and Xavier Worthy that can get downfield, but there was no play action, so the safeties could just stay deep. And, they're going to have to bring one of those safeties down in the box sometime, because now you got Kenneth Walker. And now with Thornton on one side and Worthy on, now you got the ability to create some of those one-on-one matchups and get behind the safety. So, this is I think that's, I think that his pickup is actually going to pay great dividends. Travis Kelce. He's officially locked in for his 14th season with the Kansas City Chiefs after signing a one-year, $12 million fully guaranteed contract in March of 2026. The 36-year-old future Hall of Famer committed to returning following a challenging 2025 campaign where the Chiefs finished 6-11 and missed the postseason. The upcoming 2026 season is widely rumored to be the potential, quote, last dance, unquote, of his legendary football career as his media and business ventures continue to rapidly expand. Do you expect this to be Kelce's final season? What say the People's Champ?
I do, and he should too. I mean, bruh, like, well, why are we stretching this out?
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce moonwalking into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
Let's cut the
Arguably
jokes.
the greatest tight end of all time.
Like nothing to prove.
No.
I guess maybe he owes somebody a favor, or maybe he just needs one last year to get football out of his system.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he wanted to go out with the 6 and 11.
Maybe get football out of his system and, contemplate and cross some T's and dot some I's for post-football.
Yep.
But, yeah, I don't see him playing after this season.
No.
For what?
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I definitely think this is it, man.
Did you see him coming into camp?
No.
It looked like he wants this to be his last season, too.
I mean, he just married a billionaire
I'm just
on July
saying.
3rd.
Right.
I mean,
so that at 36, not 26.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like the production has dropped off precipitously.
The body just changes at 36. I
Yeah.
don't give a damn how many nutritionists you pay to come by the crib.
Yeah.
They going to work for that money.
Yeah, they've dropped the production has dropped off over the past couple of years. He's not getting the same separation. We've seen that his blocking hasn't been as good. And as I just mentioned, he just married a billionaire.
And it's
July
father
3rd.
time, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Trav, this ain't even to take a dump on you. It's just father time.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're in a great situation. You got a hell of a situation waiting for him. As soon as he says he quits, I'm pretty sure they got the number one sports podcast, him and his brother. Whatever network he wants to work for, he'll have his pick of the litter.
Absolutely.
WME's probably waiting to call him when he's done. So he'll be more than good.
Yep. So I agree, man. And it'll be it'll be a celebration, man, when he decides to hang it up. Yeah, I think they'll make I think they'll make they'll probably make a nice run, man.
Yeah, with that offense,
Yep.
he'll still be a threat third and short.
Yep.
Definitely.
Let's talk about the Broncos entering the 2026 season. They're wrapped up in a, quote, Super Bowl or bust, unquote, mentality after a stellar 14-3 campaign in 2025 that ended in heartbreak. Yeah. When their star quarterback went down, the team is heavily favored by analysts to contend again. The biggest narrative in Denver is the return of franchise quarterback Bo Nix. Nix suffered a broken ankle during the 2025 divisional round win, forcing backup Jarrett Stidham to step in for a crushing AFC championship game loss. Ahead of regular season action, Nix has declared himself, quote, good as new, unquote, after multiple offseason surgeries and has shown zero limitations in practice. Critics and fans alike are eager to see if he can pick up right where he left off and carry Denver through a brutal early season schedule. The biggest splash of the offseason came when the Broncos traded their 2026 first, third, and fourth round draft picks to the Miami Dolphins for star receiver Jalen Waddle. Adding Waddle's explosive vertical speed to a room that already features Courtland Sutton completely changed the ceiling of Denver's passing game. In a surprising move following a near Super Bowl appearance, Sean Payton shook up his offensive staff by firing Joe Lombardi and promoting 31-year-old former quarterback Davis Webb to offensive coordinator. Payton took it a step further by transferring official play calling duties to Webb for the 2026 season. How long do you believe the call sheet remains in Webb's hands? Would say the people's champ.
Until they start losing. And if they start, I think, I don't think Sean Payton would be Sean Payton if he doesn't have his hand on it in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So I don't think he's like totally removed himself from the offense, or at least the offense room, so to speak. But I think if they can't get through this first part of the schedule, you may, see some changes. But I think if they can, go through the season and have some success, I think as the postseason rolls around, that's where it starts to become, let's say, more of a collaborative effort. That's me being nice.
I was gonna say, man, you more optimistic than me. I think as long as the offense looks fluid and the team continues to put up wins, I think that it'll stay in Davis Webb's hands. I think if they begin to sputter at all, he's taking the call sheet. If they begin to have slow starts, he's taking the call sheet. If they begin to stall in the middle of games,
dang, I was about to say, you talking in game.
He's taking the call sheet. If they begin to play poorly down the stretch of games, he's taking the call sheet. Last season, the Broncos trailed in 14 of 17 games, which is just as historic as the Bears with the 7 fourth-quarter comebacks. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think anyone has ever done that and won 14 games. So I think Mr. Webb is holding on to those play-calling duties, as long as things look
– it pay dividend.
Perfect, because I don't see Sean Payton leaving that call sheet in his hands if things don't look absolutely stellar. Like, I think things have to stay stellar, man. But on the other hand, here's the other hand. I think that the offense is going to be improved. So, like, late in the year, they lost J.K. Dobbins. Remember, he hurt himself. They do have Waddle. They saying Mims is having a great camp. So, I do think that there's a possibility that the offense is better and more fluid. So, like Davis Webb, I think his situation is improved.
Yeah.
That's why even more so, like, you better capitalize.
Yeah, you got less excuses.
Yeah, because all the more reason where he going to be like, man, and we got more weapons. Give me that call sheet. So, yeah, but I do. I think that it's a dubious proposition, him holding on to that.
Maybe Sean's getting ready to move all the way upstairs and stay.
I can't see it, man. He's a control freak.
He is.
He's a control freak.
The evidence shows, I should say.
He definitely is. The Denver Broncos entering the 2026 season are widely considered a Super Bowl or bust contender, as we said, under head coach Sean Payton, largely because they are returning 21 of 22 starters. I said 20 of 22 when I sent the sheet. From a roster that went 14-3 and made an AFC championship run last year. Let me ask you, do you view the Broncos as the favorite to win a stacked AFC West division? What say the People's Champ?
I did pick them to win the division.
Okay, so spoiler alert, huh?
I did.
Yeah.
I did pick them to win the division. Simply because the uncertainty with Mahomes' health.
Yep.
I think I would need about 8 to 9 weeks to see how he looks.
Okay.
Because, those first couple of weeks he could, be coming back off the field good. Some swelling may come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Some stiffness. Yep.
I think he's wearing a brace.
Oh yeah.
That all that matters. And again, with Walker, it's a different look.
Yep.
A lot of
some adjustment.
Yeah,
yep.
A lot of times because it sounds and looks better on paper. If you do any fan dueling, you know how that goes.
Man,
it always looks good on paper. Then the ball's tipped or kicked off, and ooh-wee. So with the addition to Waddle,
yeah, I like that addition. Man, oh man.
I mean that I think helps keep Knicks a little cleaner.
Yep.
Because he likes to he gets tempted to run a little bit.
Yep.
So I think if he's got another guy he can check on his progressions that can get open,
yep,
that helps him.
Yes.
So that's and then the defense. I mean, their defense is always gonna be there.
Yeah, and they're returning everybody.
Yeah. So
I think the only rotation player they lost was Jonathan Franklin Myers, but he wasn't a starter. He was just a rotation edge.
Right. So yeah, I have them. I have them winning the AFC West.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say who I picked to win the division, but I will say that by all accounts they should be the favorite. I mean, they're returning basically the entire team for all intents and purposes. I think technically they returned in 21 to 22 starters only because Jalen Waddle was inserted into the starting lineup. I think, you know what I'm saying? But I think they're returning the entire team. So, I mean, like you said, man, the defense, they should be just as good returning all of the starters. All of the key players are there. We talked about the offensive improvements. Bo Nix is 1 year older with a better understanding of the system. I mean,
And
all signs point to them being the favorite.
And if something to be said, they got blood in their eye.
Yeah. I
they
think
tasted
so
it.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah, like that was just a rough break and breaking his ankle
they
like on the second to last play of the game. That was
a hell of a game too.
That was a great game, with Buffalo. Yeah, and I'm tempted to wait until we get to that NFC and AFC East. But did you see Dan Orlovsky's list of the top 10 quarterback decision makers?
No.
And he had Josh Allen number 1.
I mean, man, a quarterback decision-making list stamped by Dan Orlovsky. I mean, sometimes the jokes write themselves.
Right. I'm like, we literally just saw Josh Allen in the last game that we saw him play make some of the last play was one of the worst decisions that I've ever seen in a professional football game by a quarterback. And I like Josh Allen. I'm not trying to.
I like Josh Allen, and I like Dan Orlovsky for the most part.
I do too.
But he's lunching on that.
Yeah, but like, bro, like my man, what are we even talking about? And again, like, I like Jared Allen, but the Jared Allen worship?
Josh.
I always call him Jared Allen because of the edge rusher from back in the day for the Minnesota Vikings. Shout out to Jared Allen. But I'm talking Josh Allen, the Josh Allen worship, dog.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's a little wild. But let's talk about the Chargers, man. Speaking of quarterback worship.
They ain't even in San Diego no more.
Right. The Los Angeles Chargers entering the 2026 season are operating under immense pressure to cross the postseason threshold. After posting back-to-back 11-6 regular seasons under Coach Jim Harbaugh, the team has suffered consecutive wildcard exits. In response, the front office engineered a fascinating, highly aggressive, coordinated overhaul to supercharge a stable roster. In the biggest shock of the NFL offseason, the Chargers parted ways with Greg Roman and hired former Miami Dolphin head coach Mike McDaniel as their new offensive coordinator. McDaniel is installing his signature, modern, outside-zone scheme and a highly technical, finesse-based playbook. Early training camp reports indicate that the offense is aggressively aiming for year 2 results in year 1, unquote. Quarterback Justin Herbert has never won a playoff game, a narrative the franchise is desperate to change. Under McDaniel, Herbert is handling complex formations and alignments far faster than anticipated. Coach Harbaugh recently praised Herbert's total buy-in to the new scheme, leading to high expectations that this system could generate an MVP caliber jump. Will Justin Herbert finally find playoff success under new OC Mike McDaniel? What say the people's champ?
I surely hope so. I mean, what is that? Can you explain to me, like I'm 5, what year 2 results look like?
In year 1?
Yeah, what is that? What does that even mean?
I mean, I guess
what were their anticipated results for year 1? Like, what's the qualifier?
Right, I know. I guess they're saying that he's supposed to look comfortable, as comfortable as a quarterback in year 2 of a season. Man, I don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying, when they throw stuff out like that, it's like, who are you talking to? Like, what? We're going to get year 2 results in year 1. Bruh, get out the damn divisional round and play for the AFC championship and maybe a Super Bowl.
I have no idea what any of that means.
Like, let's get there. In terms of, Eminem getting down there, I think it should bode well for them. I mean, he was able to really get some ridiculous production out of Tua.
Yeah, right.
And, I mean, so we know the mindset is there.
Yep.
And, again, with Herbert, it's a matter of doing it in games that matter.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's where we're at with him.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to continue to have to suffer the inordinate amount of praise that is heaped upon him every preseason and, every season until the postseason.
Yeah.
We've got a guy here now that should be able to maximize all of his gifts physically.
Right.
And put him in a position to put up numbers like he's never put up before. and realize this potential that we've been hearing about for the last, what are we going on, 8 years?
Yep.
So
I mean, and I feel like we say this every year though.
Yeah.
This should be the year. This should be the year. I actually do believe that they win a playoff game this season.
Okay.
I think Mike McDaniel will unlock some different aspects of their offense. I think he'll give them some wrinkles and take advantage of what they do well. I think Amarian Hampton is going to take a big step forward this season.
A year 2 step?
Well, he is in year 2. So let's say
a year 3 step.
He'll get year 3 results in year 2.
There we go. There we go.
They added Tyler Biadasz and Cole Strange on the interior offensive line. They will get back Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. They're bookend offensive tackles. That's going to help the running game. That should translate to the passing game. Because last year, every year we get a different excuse for Justin Herbert. Last year, that was the excuse. Well, he lost, he lost his offensive line. He was under constant pressure. And that's fair. They're fine. That's fair. Okay. So now we got that out the way. You got your offensive line back. They signed some additional offensive linemen. That aspect should be fixed. You got an excellent defense. You got excellent pass rushers. You got one of the best safeties in football in Derwin James. He's back. He's in his prime. Let's get busy. I don't want to hear no more excuses, man. I'm done with it.
Hey, baby, I want some year 2 results.
Right, exactly.
Night 1.
Right, night 1. Recently, the Los Angeles Chargers have been firmly cemented into the Super Bowl conversation heading into the 2026 NFL season. Analysts argue that their absolute ceiling is a championship. This optimism follows back-to-back 11-6 seasons under head coach Jim Harbaugh, which both frustratingly ended in wild card round exits. Entering year 3 of the Harbaugh era, the storyline surrounding the Chargers' Super Bowl contention focuses on dynamic coaching changes, critical player health, and rewriting a history of postseason stalemates. Do you believe the Chargers are a legit Super Bowl contender? Why or why not? What say the people's champ?
I think the addition of McDaniel makes them a Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
I do. Because, hell, I think we both agree they do have the potential to get a playoff win.
Sure.
So that puts you in the position.
Yeah. Yep.
That puts you 60 minutes away.
Yep.
And, Herbert is talented enough. We've seen Eli Manning play and win 2 Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
So, there's no doubt he has the ability to put together an afternoon.
Yep.
and get it done, but will he?
Right.
But the pieces are there. Harbaugh has shown that he can coach a team up into a Super Bowl.
I agree. Yep. He's got the pedigree.
So, will they add the right wrinkles?
Yes.
I think is what we'll have to see. But, I think I'll put them in for the AFC. I think I'll put them in the contender category. Yeah, for sure. I see New England maybe taking a little step back. We'll probably talk about that next week.
Yep.
So I kind of see them right along that tier where, hey, man, they can go on a run and be that unlikely team that you look up in January, they're playing for something heavy.
Yeah, no, I don't think they are just yet. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is something very similar to Seattle. Mm-hmm. I don't think they have the offensive weapons.
Okay.
I like Ladd McConkey. I think he's a great number 2. Mm-hmm. And Quentin Johnson, I feel like, we keep waiting for him to break out. I think he's probably a number 2 also. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. I think they don't have their number 1 receiver yet. I think they need some more explosive weapons on, because you need that. You're going to, you always say that, like, at some point you're going to need a guy. You're going to need just somebody to make a monster play that always happens. You know, you need a JSN. You know what I'm saying?
Get him the ball.
Yeah, exactly. You need somebody where you just, hey, throw that guy the football, give him the ball. You know, you look at the teams that are always in that, you know, like I think that's why New England went and got A.J. Brown, because eventually they ran into a situation where they just didn't have that weapon where, you know, you need a nuclear weapon on the outside. And I think that
some offensive assurance.
Yeah, like, and I just think they don't have that guy. But
or maybe they think Herbert's the guy. Not that I agree, but maybe that's really they're putting all their chips in him. Like he's
and I just
yet to be witnessed by me. I've seen flashes, but again, it's like,
and I think
for the
they
Loch
think
Ness
Quentin
monster.
Johnson is always, you know, like he always, next year Quentin Johnson's gonna be on. And I'm like, I just don't think, you know, I could be wrong. Like, and maybe, you know, for all I know, maybe he will just unlock and just end up being
maybe
that guy.
McDaniel can quote unquote waddle him.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, like maybe he can turn him into a number one, but I just, you know, I have yet to see, you know, anything from Quentin Johnson that tells me that he's a true number one receiver. But, you know, but we'll see. I mean, you know, like I could be wrong, but I, you know, as good as McDaniel is, I don't know if he can turn twos into ones.
That's
and
a
threes
task.
into twos.
Yeah, that's a task. But I mean, you know, that's why they bought him there, though.
Yep.
Year two results. So he gonna make twos ones, bro.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? See how my math and my computer's puting, dog.
All right, Cameron. Got computers puting. And then let's get to the Raiders, man. The Las Vegas Raiders entered the 2026 NFL season in a major transition, centered around number one overall pick and franchise quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Rebuilding under general manager John Spytek and head coach Clint Kubiak. Staff changes. The team aims to rebound from a tough previous year by splashing in free agency and overhauling both the trenches and supporting cast. After parting ways with veteran head coach Pete Carroll, the Raiders did hire Clint Kubiak, fresh off a Super Bowl title with the Seattle Seahawks, as an offensive coordinator. Kubiak's hiring brings a modern, young offensive philosophy to Las Vegas. His prior familiarity with Kirk Cousins is expected to help the team install its new offense seamlessly during the transition year. Las Vegas made former Ravens star Tyler Linderbaum the highest-paid center in the NFL history. Paired with a healthy Colton Miller, the Raiders are banking on a heavily improved front line. Do you agree with the strategy of starting Cousins, or would you prefer for Fernando Mendoza to start right away? Why or why not? We'll say the people's champ.
You know, I've mentioned this earlier. Mm-hmm. I've had the misfortune in my life as a football fan to support one team being the Detroit Lions and the other, thanks to my affection for Tecmo Bowl and all things Bo Jackson and NWA and the DLC. The then Los Angeles Raiders.
Yeah.
So I always kind of root for the Raiders from afar.
Yeah.
That said, I think starting the season with Kirk Cousins as the starter is a good thing. Mm-hmm. And why I say that is because it says to me, and I'm no one in the grand scheme of things, I realize this, but it to me, it shows that they're taking this serious.
Yeah.
Like they're not just trying to quelch the ravenous fans.
Yeah.
They're not looking for just the splash. They're going about this as like how real football teams do.
Yep.
I think Kirk Cousins is a pro.
Yes.
He's not going to show you bad habits.
Right.
So I think if you can do that for, I don't know if it has to be maybe, I don't think it has to be a Mahomes situation where he has to sit for the entire season.
Right.
But then again, who knows? What if they start winning games? You know that. Yeah. Then there's that. But I think it's a good thing if they start the season with Cousins. If it was another quarterback, if it was Jacoby Brissett,
right,
And I'm sorry, Jacoby. It's the first name that came into my. But if it was Jacoby Brissett, I would be like, play the kid.
Yep. No, I mean, we agree because this situation is antithetical to what's going on with the Cardinals. Mendoza is the guy for sure. You don't have any question about whether or not he's the guy. You spent the number 1 pick on him.
Right.
He's already demonstrated all of the traits of a franchise quarterback. He's shown the aptitude in film session. He's picking up the offense. He can make all the throws. He's big. He's athletic. That's you spent the number 1 pick on him, so you already know all of this. Kirk Cousins is a stopgap. Mendoza is the future.
Right.
So this is antithetical to what's happening in Arizona. Like last year when the Giants drafted Jackson Dart, we said start Jackson Dart right away. We said that because Brian Daboll was on the hot seat. We like, bro, attach yourself to the rookie quarterback right away. You're wasting time starting Russell Wilson. You're going to be fired before this kid can even show anything about himself.
And how did that work out?
And that's exactly what happened. And now the next coach has got your young rookie quarterback and you somewhere coordinating probably.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. See, like you got to read the room. Every situation is not the same. Bringing Jackson Dart along slowly when you on the hot seat and playing Russell Wilson was a waste of time. You could have unlocked Jackson Dart much earlier, and if you did that, you'd probably still have a job. But I digress. Because we're not talking about Brian Daboll. This situation ain't that. We know Mendoza is the guy. Again, unfortunately for the Raiders, y'all playing a rugged division. Y'all playing with 3 of the best teams in football in terms of roster construction. I'm not going to say you got 0 chance to win the division, but, I mean, you have a low probability of winning this division. It's not very likely that you're going to beat out these other 3 teams who are, again, very well constructed from a roster standpoint, and you're up and coming. So,
but they can build.
Yes. No, and I think listen, Mendoza to me, there was a lot of I guess there were some mixed reviews on him coming out of college.
Oh.
Not for me, though. I'm like, man, first of all.
That kid?
Yeah, first of all, he can make every throw.
He's huge. Pause.
Second of all, he was playing at Indiana. Now, I know Indiana ain't the Indiana from the early 2000s, right? It ain't even the Indiana from the early 2010s, but, he ain't throwing the ball to Julio Jones. And, you know what I'm saying? He was still throwing to, Surratt and – you know what I'm saying? They had good talent, but it wasn't these wasn't 5-star recruit. He still had to put the ball in the right spot most of the time. Them dudes wasn't just running away from the other team's cornerbacks. So, no, I'm like, this dude is the real thing. He had to go out there and get some of them games on his own.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, man, Fernando Mendoza is that dude.
And he's got a nice backfield with him.
Yeah,
so that's a good start.
Yeah, so. and they solidified the O-line. So I'm like, no, you got Brock Bowers. They actually have some offensive pieces. But what I want to talk about is the defense. Yeah, that's the side of the ball that I want to get to. I want to ask you a question.
Poor Max.
Yeah, I want to ask you some questions about the defense. And I don't know, I just jumped out for some reason. There we go. The Las Vegas Raiders' new defensive coordinator is Rob Leonard. He was promoted to the role on February 15, 2026 by head coach Clint Kubiak. Leonard has been with the Raiders organization since 2023, previously serving as the team's defensive line coach and run game coordinator. He replaced Patrick Graham, who held the position prior to the 2026 offseason staff overhaul. Under Leonard, the Raiders are shifting to an aggressive, fast-paced 3-4 base defense that prioritizes versatile player rotation, discipline techniques, and forcing takeaways. Do you think Leonard will be able to field a serviceable unit? What say the people's champ?
Well, it's going to be tough, man. You got to have, to play that style, you got to have depth at a lot of positions.
Yep.
And I'm not, and the Raiders just aren't exactly known for depth, especially if we're talking talent-laden depth.
Yes.
So that's going to be the problem.
Yes.
I just don't know if he has the able bodies for the scheme that they want to run. It may look good in spurts.
Right.
But, for 60 minutes, it's going to be tough.
Yep, I agree. No, he's not going to be able to field a serviceable unit. Let's just be real. And it has almost nothing to do with Rob Leonard himself. I would have said that if the reincarnated prime Bill Belichick himself had been appointed to the role. It's just they just don't have the bodies. Like they've unfortunately on that side of the ball, it's like Max Crosby and the guys.
Right.
Like they don't have the personnel. They, at all three levels, like they got Max Crosby, but they not very good on the interior. They don't, they don't have anything at the linebacking core. Again, like Devin White, who was there last year, had 174 tackles, but he's now gone.
He's here.
Yeah, he's with the Lions. I mean, the defensive backfield, I don't know what's really going on there. Like, they just don't have the personnel to field a really good defense, and that's really the problem. Like, they actually have some decent things going on the offensive side of the ball where you could actually see them picking up some wins, but where they're going to falter is defensively. They're going to give up a lot of yards and a lot of points unless he can really scheme it up. And in the NFL, you ain't gonna really scheme. It ain't enough scheme, you can't scheme it up good enough to stop NFL offenses. You got to have personnel, man. So, no disrespect to Rob Leonard, because it's nothing to do with him, but you got to have the horses, and they just simply do not. So let's get right to it, man. And I think you already gave yours away, but I'll ask you anyway. Who's winning the AFC West and why?
I'm going to roll with the Orange Crush, man. I think they have we've beat over the head. They are bringing back the most guys.
Yeah, I know, 20 or 20, 21 or 22, I should say.
And, in the NFL, it is difficult because of the parity. But Peyton is a veteran coach that knows how to prepare for postseason.
Yep, future Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah, so I just have them with the additions that they did make to kind of help, again, free up Bo Nix to kind of keep him more so clean in the pocket.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I like Denver. And again, the another big reason why is with the Chiefs. If Patrick Mahomes, if he blew his ACL out week 2,
right?
I would feel a lot better. But I just think he may need some time to get his footing up under him. But again, he's shown he's one of those guys when he gets it up under him.
Yeah,
it can be a quick lift off. But yeah, today I'm going with Denver.
Yeah, I am gonna go with the Chiefs.
Okay.
I think order gonna be restored in the AFC West. Would they win it 10 years in a row for one stretch? But I do think it will be the Chiefs. I love the addition of Kenneth Walker. They did lose McDuffie, but they drafted the best corner available. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They rebuilt the offensive line. And most importantly, they have heard all the naysayers.
Yeah,
and
true.
They will be motivated. So I am compelled to believe that the Chiefs will. I think they will get it done. Again, it's going to be a tough division. It wouldn't surprise me if the Chargers won it. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if the Broncos won it. Because these two divisions that we just discussed are they are probably the best two divisions in football, and that's not a knock on the NFC North, because I think the NFC North is probably right behind.
Mm-hmm.
But the roster construction, particularly in the NFC West, man, it's just impeccable, man.
I think we picked the NFC West last year as the toughest.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really that the roster construction over there. You're right, and I think all of the teams won 13 games or more, other than Arizona, obviously. But I think the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers all won 13 games or more. So, Yep. So that is that, man. That is the NFC West and the AFC West. And we are on now to the SS segment. What you got, nephew?
Is it Jaden Daniels or Jalen Newman?
I mean, yeah, Jaden Daniels, that's an odd situation, man. I think it's his mom probably more so than it is him. And, I can appreciate his mom and the fact that
he's a grown man.
He is. Listen, I can appreciate how she feels, being the father of grown sons, particularly when he's a millionaire. And I understand that there's a lot of predatory behavior that surrounds these athletes. But yeah,
I think I still got to give it to Julian Newman though. At the end of the day,
why? What's going on with Newman?
He out here pimping out his sister.
What happened?
Oh, you ain't see the comment? You haven't seen the comments about? She had a leak, right?
Oh, wait a minute. What? Hold on, man. fill me in on what's going on here, man. Tell the people what's going on.
Pimping out his sister.
Yeah, like that's dastardly. Wait, hold on. Nephew.
I wish I would have collected the clips now at this point.
Whoa.
So, Jaden Newman,
mm-hmm.
Julian Newman's sister, unfortunately had some video surface out there of her in certain situations, in certain positions.
All right.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yep. I get your drift.
But I mean, ever since that happened, Julian Newman's pretty much been
taking bids.
No, not even taking bids. Fan number one. Like, they've been on multiple podcasts talking about it. He said that when
he's her manager,
basically.
Oh my!
He said when she turned 18, he was like, she should make an OnlyFans.
That's very disturbing.
He said that about his sister?
Yes.
That is very disturbing.
Oh, man, then how do? Oh, because
that's the reason beyond sucker shit. That's disgusting, dog.
So wait a minute. This child's 18 years old.
No, I don't know how old Jaden's is at this point, but it's weird because we saw them going on the talk show circuit, doing all the dribbling and having the competitions and with Steph Curry and all of that. But the thing is, the reason this came back up is because the end of last week he had shot at Club 520 and B Hen and them. So they replied back, but dog just been crazy. Like, he's talking about if he see B Hen, it's up, but he on a podcast with somebody telling him that his sister leaks was fire, and he did nothing. So I know when the whole Jaden Daniels thing happened, I said, did he lock it up? But
yeah, no, this just weird, bro. This is straight Game of Thrones Targaryen type nasty, dog. Like, bro. This is beyond, dog. Like, I don't even know, dog. We talk what?
I ain't got nothing for that. Bro.
Yeah, I have nothing, dog. Like, what are we talking about, dog?
Wow. Damn.
After we pack up, I'll pull up some clips.
Yeah, please. Because and on that note, good Lord.
We don't condone any of that here or that every day. Everybody has one podcast.
That's nasty.
Yeah,
what you got?
What were we talking about?
SS segment?
Oh yeah. Skip Bayless.
Okay, we'll skip to.
Come on, man.
I mean, listen.
The unprovoked, unnecessary.
I'm talking about on Westbrook.
Come on, man. Yeah. It was tacky, it's lame, and the man's career is over with.
Yeah.
Like, just let it go. And, like, no one with two eyes that calls themselves a basketball fan have watched Russell Westbrook's career and can come away and not say that he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's just foolishness, Skip. And it's like, at this point, and a big reason to why a lot of former players that I saw coming out with all of this quote-unquote fake love for Russ, or they were accusing a lot of analysts and talking heads of having fake love for Russ. It was Skip Bayless was the one that was spearheading the narrative about Russell Westbrook and being ultra focused on the deficiencies of his game throughout his career, to the point where he started to get into public spats with the man's wife. You get what I'm saying? And having segments with his highlights to like circus music and all that. Like Skip Bayless did that. So, Skip Bayless we might just change it to the Skip Bayless segment.
No, I mean, again, I'll reserve my comments because we're going to give the Russell Westbrook segment the time that it deserves. I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? Like I am not even about to do Skip Bayless, we already know his get down, and we going to get into Russell Westbrook. We going to give him his proper due and discuss his retirement and his career in context. We just, we in a specific time period in the year where we're breaking down these divisions in football, and we can only discuss so many of these topics, man. But no, we gonna get into Russ. I promise y'all that we gonna get into that, and we gonna give that topic the time that it deserves, man. But
yeah, Skip was on some sucker shit for that.
Yes, definitely, man, and you are absolutely correct. And that's gonna conclude tonight's Everybody Has One podcast, man. We got a hard out this evening. We're trying to get out by a certain time, man, but we appreciate y'all locking in with us once again. Make sure y'all continue to like, share, and subscribe right here on the Everybody Has One podcast. That's Everybody Has the #1 sports podcast on YouTube. That's Everybody Has One spelled out sports podcast everywhere else. That's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's Twitch, that's Threads, and that's TikTok. When you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell notification. When you hit that bell notification, make sure you hit all. When you hit all, you will be notified every single time that we post new content, new videos, new shorts, and, of course, every time we go live, which is every Wednesday at 8:30 or as close as we can get to it. The audio version of the podcast is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We do have our presenting sponsor, which is Claremont 12. Bing. Claremont 12, toast to the life, share with a friend. That is Claremont12.com, Claremont12.com. Claremont is spelled Clairmount. That's Claremont 12, 1-2, not 12 spelled out. .com. Make sure y'all visit that site, man, and it will give you information about how to interface with the product, about how to get a bottle, about how to purchase. And if you are in the Metro Detroit area, man, it will be at bars and liquor stores near you very, very soon. It's not there yet, but it'll be there very, very soon. We appreciate y'all tapping in with us, man. Once again, join us back here next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. or as close as we can get to it. It's the Everybody Has One podcast. Peace.
Happy birthday, Nolan Wells.